السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Amma ba'd. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, our topic for today's khutbah is about the two most important things that we need, inshallah, to enter Al-Jannah. Al-Iman wal-Amal salih. Iman, belief in Allah, and righteous deeds. Al-Iman, or faith in Allah, and righteous actions are both prerequisites for success in this life and the hereafter. The two go hand in hand. In order for a person to receive the full reward for any good deed, they need to have faith in Allah, do that act of worship sincerely for the pleasure of Allah. Otherwise, the reward will only be in the dunya. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the glorious Quran, blessed is he in whose hand is the kingdom, and he has power over all. He, Allah, who created death and life, that he may try us, which of us will do best deeds, and he is mighty, the forgiving. وقال أيضا في سورة العصر بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swear by the time, say, I swear by the time, most surely, certainly, mankind is in a state of loss. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have chosen to use the words mankind's in a state of loss. He could have just said al-insan lafi khusr, but instead he chose to put inna in front, harfu tawkid, to emphasize the seriousness of the situation. Allah knows us better than anyone else, being our creator. He knows our state. He said to us in Surah Al-Tabara that He's put us on earth to try us and see amongst us who will do a good deed. And in Surah Al-Asr, Allah is reminding us of that and warning of our situation. Everyone, mankind, is in a state of loss, except those who have Iman and do good deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only telling us about our state, He's also giving us the remedy. What do we need to do in order to escape this trouble, to make sure we not count amongst the losers on the Day of Judgment? A'udhu billah. May Allah guide us from that and make us among the successful ones. To understand Iman a bit more, we're going to look at a hadith. It is reported in this hadith that Jibreel alayhi salam visited Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and asked him about Iman. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, Al-Iman an tu'mina billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir wa tu'mina bil qadr khayrihi wa sharrihi. Al-Iman is to have faith, believe in Allah, believe in Allah's angels, believe in the books Allah has revealed to us, believe in all his messengers, and believe in the last day, the day of Qiyam. It is also believing in Qadr, preordainment. Everything that happens on earth to us is because Allah has ordained it. So as Muslims, alhamdulillah, we know that if, for instance, there's something we want in life, we make the effort, we do everything we can that is in our power. If we do not achieve it at the end of the day, we know it's the qadr of Allah. If we're afflicted with a trial as well, we know that it's from Allah. No harm will befall us except with Allah's permission, and no good will come to us with except Allah's permission. Al-Iman, belief, has been explained further. In the English language, it loosely translates into faith. But Al-Iman is a bit more than faith. To understand this, we need to look at the characteristics of Iman. The ulamas have described Iman as having the following characteristics. Al-Iman is something that is manifested in the heart. So the sincerity, the love for Allah, it's something that is manifested in the tongue through speech. So making zikr of Allah. For instance, say when we have new Muslims, and we have new Muslims, they have to proclaim the Shahada. Al-Iman is also something that we do with our limbs. So the acts of worship, for instance, Salah and Hajj. Al-Iman also increases and decreases. May Allah not cause us to die except in the state of high Iman. Our religion, al-Islam, is built upon these two, Iman and A'mal. An Abi Abdul Rahman Abdullah ibn Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhuma qala سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول بني إسلام على خمس شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله وإقامة الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وحج البيت وصوم رمضان. Al-Islam is built upon 5 pillars. The Shahada, to bear witness, testify that there is no God, no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his messenger. Establishing the 5 daily prayers, paying the obligatory charity zakah annually, and making pilgrimage to the house of Allah in Mecca for once in a lifetime, and fasting in the month of Ramadan. Ramadan's around the corner. May Allah make us witness this Ramadan and get the barakah of the month. We will all agree that a building or structure is only as strong as the foundation it's built upon. For instance, this beautiful masjid we all sat in today, we know it's only as strong as the foundation it's built upon. So the same applies to our faith, al-Iman. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has taught us that Islam is built upon 5 pillars. So as Muslims, to improve our practice of our deen, we need to focus and try and establish the 5 pillars. May Allah make us steadfast and enable us to complete and perfect His commands in a way that pleases Him. If we further ponder upon the 5 pillars of Islam, we will realize that they fit in with the characteristics of al-Iman. The Shahada is al-Iman that manifests in the heart and speech. Zakah, Hajj, fasting, and Salah are all actions of Iman that are manifested with the limbs. Of the 5 pillars of Islam, 2 are daily, the Shahada and Salah, 2 are annually, Hajj, 2 are annually, Ramadan, so fasting in the month of Ramadan, and paying Zakah annually, and 1 Hajj is obligatory once in a lifetime for any Muslim who meets the conditions. 2 of these 5 pillars have inherent financial conditions, so Hajj and Zakah, you need to have some money to be able to fulfill them. And therefore, usually, they only become obligatory upon us later in life when we start earning an income, when we grow older and, say, get a job, for example. As a result, unlike Salah, Shahada, and Saum that we practice from a young age, we don't necessarily get the opportunity to do Hajj or pay Zakah at an early age. May Allah give us the means to fulfill the 5 pillars. May Allah soften our hearts and facilitate Zakah and Hajj for us. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. For the second part of the khutbah today, inshallah, brothers and sisters, will focus on one of the 5 pillars of Al-Islam, Az-Zakah. Az-Zakah is obligatory on every Muslim who is adult, so every Muslim who's reached the age of puberty, who is sane, so they have a good state of mind, they know right from wrong, and they must own the nisab. The nisab is the minimum net wealth one needs to own in order to pay zakah, in order for zakah to become obligatory. The nisab for zakah in gold and silver is 87 grams of gold and 612 grams of silver. The gold value equates to about 2,100 pounds and the silver 215 pounds. You should only use the gold nisab if your net asset is only, you should only use the gold nisab if your net asset is only in gold. So if you have a mixture of wealth, be it say property, money or other form of wealth, you should use the silver and nisab. In effect, if you have if your net wealth is 215 pounds or more a year, you should pull zakah on that. For say farmers, for instance, there are different nisabs for say livestock farmers and agricultural farmers that farm in crops as well. My advice to myself and all of us is that we check annually to establish if we meet the nisab, at which point the zakah will become obligatory upon us. If we meet the nisab, we must be swift in paying the required amounts in charity to the poor and needy in our communities. Zakah, being one of the pillars of Islam, Allah has prescribed it for us, for everyone, anyone who is Muslim and meets the requirements, has many benefits. Among the benefits of zakah are, it makes the rich reconcile with the poor, it fulfills some of the poor people's needs and alleviates some of their suffering. As we all know, our brothers and sisters in different parts of the world, including Syria, are going through trials at the moment with war and other calamity that are afflicting them at the moment. With Ramadan approaching as well, some of us, brothers and sisters in Muslim, will continue to struggle for sustenance. I urge myself, first and foremost, and all of you to, inshallah, let us dedicate part of our zakah and other charitable donations this year to helping our brothers and sisters, Muslims around us and the world as a whole. Zakah purifies the wealth and the wealthy. It increases the wealth both in purity and barakah. So when one gives zakah, Allah increases purifies their wealth and give barakah to the wealth. So one becomes able to do more with the wealth. It purifies the wealthy and those who give the dues to the needy from stinginess. It further prevents them from adoring their wealth. Zakah also purifies the needy that receive it. It purifies their soul from envy, hatred, and animosity. It also cleanses them from falling prey to the shaitan, who will attempt to corrupt them and incite them to commit crimes. As a whole, zakah is a purification for the entire society. For those of us who meet the nisab, please let's not be stingy. For Allah, who has granted the wealth to us, if He wills, is able to take it away from us. Allah, who is the rich Al-Ghani, free of all needs and worthy of all praise, has bestowed His blessings upon us. Be grateful to Allah and appreciate His favors upon you, so that this wealth of yours may last and be a vehicle for you to perform good deeds. Let's spend our wealth for the sake of Allah, and remember that He has promised to increase the wealth of the one who gives charity. Allah never breaks His promises. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فَسَنُيَسِرُهُ لِلْعُسْرَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, as for him who gives in charity, who gives and fair lie in his affairs, and believe in good and the good reward that will come from his actions, Allah will make smooth for that person the path of ease. But for he who is greedy and thinks himself self-sufficient and denies the good, Allah will make smooth for him the path of evil. May Allah protect us from that. My final advice to myself and all of you is for us to be steadfast in our deen, strive to completely fulfill the pillars of Islam, as it is the foundation of our faith, and increase our efforts in attaining closeness to Allah, in doing other acts that will bring us closer to Allah. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما كثيرا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم اللهم باركنا رمضان اللهم نعوذ بك من الكفر والفقر ونعوذ بك من الكبر والرياء والنفاق اللهم نسألك الجنة ونعوذ بك من النار اللهم نسألك الجنة ونعوذ بك من النار اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم يذكرون اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم واستغفروه يغفر لكم واتقوه يجعل لكم من أمركم مخرجا. أقيم الصلاة.